And welcome to the Red Man Group, episode 93, Mansplaining Palooza. I'm President Dream, President Johnson, Anthony Dream Johnson, founder of the Red Man Group, or co-founder of the Red Man Group, founder of 21 Studios and the 21 Convention and the now infamous 22 Convention. Joining me today on the show is Noah Ravoy from smv4k.com. He's an alumni speaker of the 21 Convention we held last year in Poland. Also joining me, of course, is Steve the Dean Williams from themandmindset.com. Spoken many times at the 21 Convention, proud patriarch of 5. Amazing guy, hosts the Man Mindset Show, the Red Pill Mindset Show for men, and the Red Line as well, occasionally on Fridays. And finally, we have Evolve Phil. He's been an attendee several times at the 21 Convention. He's been a panelist in the Red Man Group several times, and he'll be a speaker at the 21 Convention Second Patriarch Edition, coming to Orlando, Florida, this April 30th to May 3rd. That's an event for fathers focused on fatherhood and becoming a father. Gentlemen, thanks for joining me today on the show. We had a little hiatus last week. Very happy to be back. There's been a shit ton going on, and I'm very excited to discuss it with you guys.
What's going on? What's on?
How y'all gentlemen doing today?
It's been a hot week.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. This has been a great... We were just talking before the show went live, and holy shit, this has been so much fun.
Yeah, you got a choice whenever you do something like what you're doing with 22, and you can be as gentle as possible, so gentle nobody notices you, or you can come in with the full unadulterated truth. And the show up of the reaction to this is so intense and over the top that it's going to turn people off against the people that are making these reactions. It's going to drive people our way, because the reality is every part of the message that we've sent out is of loving concern and positivity for the future of women.
Yep.
And all the that we're getting in return is full of hatred and vile and bile.
And even violence too on top of that. These people are crazy, man.
Yeah, well, violently crazy.
Yeah. No, and I agree. Like it's an extremely pro-positive, pro-woman event. It's the most positive event in the world for women. And that, I think, is it's people think it's the exaggerated language or the hyperbole or something that we write some of the sales copy with that's making these people so upset. And I don't believe that is the case. That's like 20% of it. 80% is that we're ripping the mask off of how crazy, unhinged, and hateful these people are. These are the people that have been going after Trump for years, like, 4 years now or something like that. Whatever people think of politics, like that level of viciousness and vile and violence and unhinged behavior and hatred against men and fathers and boys, we're ripping the mask off that forcefully through culture and through marketing. And yeah, they're really, it's been amazing. I've never seen anything like this in my life, personally, obviously, but I have to go on the culture.
Their objective is to use the shame rallying techniques, what I call GSRRM, to cause us to back down and to soften the message and basically align closer with what they want.
Yep.
Are you planning to do that, Anthony?
I was thinking about it, and then I was like, nope, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah, backing down won't really make them happy, and it will remind them that in the future, they can always make us back down.
Yeah, no, it'll give them fuel, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to starve the beast. Now, I am looking at feedback, though, of how they're attacking us, and I do believe in offense and defense both being extremely useful, duh. So I'm looking at how to make the message even more explicitly. Well, no matter what, they're going to get more mad at us, right? Pretty much no matter what we do. So what I'm trying to do is make it explicitly even more pro-positive and pro-woman, which it is, but in a way that they can't, and they have a very difficult time attacking. And I want them to, the more they attack it, I want them to look stupider and stupider, which is revealing how stupid and crazy they are. So that's kind of the goal. It's like a game. It's a fight, basically, is what it is. Yeah, you've got to keep making fun of them. You got to keep showing the world who they are. In politics, for years, I think that's what Trump has done. These people are crazy and screaming in the streets. One of the best examples was that woman who was screaming. I think it was a woman anyway. When he was inaugurated, just the no, like it's Star Wars or something, right? Like she just found out Darth Vader was her father. And
it's the technique that we're using and that Trump used is an amygdala hijack. So we get them to read so hard their brain shuts down, and they can't be deceptive so easily anymore. And then everyone sees who they are. The mask slips. Everyone sees who they are and what's really happening.
Yep.
And, you know, we can tell people what they're like, but it's much more effective to demonstrate it.
Yep. Yeah, let's get some more input from I mean, no, we'll go back and forth all day long. Phil, Steve, you guys want to hop in with what your thoughts, observations are of the world lately, of
Yeah.
the 70 million people we've pissed off at this point?
Yeah, it's incredible for me to sit back. I've been like I told you earlier, I'm thoroughly impressed. First off, with the job that you've done to get the message out there and watch them actually shoot themselves in the foot, so to speak, and let it catch fire and react so poorly to something that is something really so positive for women. I mean, for me, I look at women today and I just can't understand how you would not want to better yourself, position yourself in such a manner that you will attract a better mate, possibly, if that's what you're looking for, or if you're trying to raise a family or get into fitness or something like that. I just don't understand why the poor reaction. And then again, I kind of understand that, you know, as Americans, especially female Americans, I've noticed a trend, because I'm an older guy, you know, over the last decade or so, I've noticed a lot of ladies tend to not really care anymore. And I think that mind shift with this 22 convention right here, in putting the message out that, hey, it's okay to be a feminine beauty. It's okay to have natural hair color. It's okay to live a lifestyle of positivity and hope versus, oh, orange man bad. Oh, my feelings. Oh, this, that, the other thing. It's
Dream
better.
man bad. Dream man bad.
Yeah. Oh, Florida man. The Florida man's gonna get me.
They say they want to release the Florida man upon me. I'm like, motherfucker, I am Florida man. Like, who do you think leads the army of the Florida man? The tribe. Get the fuck out of here. I was born just north of the Everglades, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's like stick country right there. You got swamp blood.
Oh yeah,
no,
dude.
But seriously, you know, I just can't understand. And then again, like I was saying, I do understand it. It's falling back to that victim mindset. Personally, is what I see a lot of folks doing, and this is a better, cleaner way to live. That's my opinion, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we're in a time right now where women are getting a lot of bad information from other women on how to be women and how to get men. And they're always wondering why they are in bad relationships and they can't find Mr. Right. And they just keep repeating the process. And what you've done, Anthony, is you have shaken things up. I won't even say you're going against the grain. You're going in the grain. You know what I mean? And I don't think that people can take what I love about you is you're real. That's why you A1, because you straight up honest, and people can't handle the honest, blunt truth. They want to live in a reality of fake and false and cuddle, and you know it's going to be okay, and you're okay as a 300-pound woman eating 5 sandwiches and drinking a Diet Coke. You'll find Mr. Right on a horse or something like that. But what you're saying is that you have men that are telling you what you can do to get a real authentic man and have a real authentic relationship. And I don't think it's like they're so mad they're missing the point. They're so angry at the words. And I don't have no problem with everything. I think everything you're saying is fine, but people cannot handle that, and they're not really reading what you're saying, or they're not reading what we're doing. We're not here to knock women. We're not here to make women look bad. We're just here to tell women, look, this is how you've got to be if you want an authentic man, and you want that, that 2.5 kids, white picket fence, and the pie in the window type relationship. You're not going to get it right now because you have no guidance as a woman. I don't know if dad was there or dad wasn't there, but right now you're going through man after man after man, and you can't lock them down. You're wondering why. And then you're getting validation from other people. You're getting validation from other people who don't understand what manhood is. And
yeah, they're getting validation from the grass-eating lions and these cupcakes, man.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So when they see you, you're in the forefront in all of this. and they can't understand. Well, why don't you validate me? Why don't you tell me that I'm perfect? Or why don't you tell me I'm okay the way I am, like everybody else does? And because you're not, their ego and their self-importance are getting in the way of that. And now you're enemy number one. And I think it's awesome, man. If you ask me, I love it.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun. I think, Elliot Hulse told me last year that we were having cigars out downtown in Orlando. He had come back for a trip of his own for his own company and stuff. And then he stopped by and we had some cigars. And he said that, me and my company had been kindling like a fire, kind of getting going for a long, long time. And he's like, you're going to blow up. And I think we're now in the process of that. And I think that I don't know if I was born for it or built for it, but I'm definitely having a lot of fun. And it's been super awesome and super. I mean, there's a lot of outrage and negativity, but there's a lot of positivity too. Some of that you see in public. People are speaking up now in support of us, men and women. Behind the scenes too, it's the same thing. Emails and messages and all these things. Well, people like it. They want to do well. They want to see, and they like seeing the pushback too. This kind of pushback to this harpy, man-hating feminism, and being for women and for femininity and for motherhood. This is very unusual in modern culture. These women, my favorite was that woman screaming. I think she has 3 kids or something. She was in her car just screaming about, men are going to get together and talk to women about how to be better women. She bitches about that for a few minutes and how that's impossible and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden she goes, I swear to God, she goes, we can look at it too. She immediately goes into womansplaining about how to be the ultimate husband and the ultimate man. How that's impossible for men to do for women, right? And then here, let me do it for you in reverse. It's like the level of cognitive dissonance we've managed to trigger. It's not just me, guys. I mean, it's by putting all of you together and working as a team that we've been able to accomplish this, and it's awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited for what's going on, man. Yeah. So let's look at some of the. We should look at some of the articles, I think, because I don't know if all the fans watching this, most of them I think are aware, but maybe not all of them. So we can look over some of this. We got this going here. So we got Orlando Weekly. We got Scary Mommy. I mean, for the basic, by the way, the basis of what's going on, for any of you who are not aware of what we're talking about, we launched the 22 convention. We should pull that up too, actually. Oh, let's pull this up. Boom. So for any of you who are not aware, we launched tickets recently to the 22 convention. This has gone mega super viral. It's reached 70 million people across Facebook and social media and Twitter and all these things. And it's basically just the 21 convention for women, more or less. There's a couple different mechanics to it that are unique, at least for the way we're doing it. But, we put the tickets out. And for us, it was just like another launch. And yeah, the world has been taken by surprise. It has the tagline, of course, Make Women Great Again. It's the world's ultimate event for women. The tickets, like usual, start about half off. You can bring a friend free right now. It's all this positive stuff. You have to be a woman to attend, just like 21 convention. You have to be a man to attend. One of the things that makes it's both similar and then different, I guess, for 21 Con. All the speakers are male, just like at the 21 convention. Of course, at the 21 convention, it's men speaking to men. Now it's all men speaking to women. And this has really rubbed millions of women the wrong way. And I would say we should talk about this as a panel too. I think a lot of that has to do with daddy stuff, daddy issues. I mean, a good father should raise his daughters as best as he can and be the best father he can. And in doing so, pass on wisdom to his daughter about how to be a woman and his vision of that and his experience and his best knowledge of that. And I think in a lot of ways, it's probably a big landmine we've just blown up for these people. That having a positive masculine voice in your life, whether it's a grandfather, a father, an uncle, an older brother, or a combination of these things, feminism has taught them to hate that. It's brainwashed them. No, I know you talk a lot about the GSSR, you call it that?
Yeah, GSRRM. It's a model of argumentative behavior. So you have 2 choices. You have Stefan Molyneux's face there. So you have the argument of Stefan Molyneux, where it's a facts and logic and reason. Mm-hmm. And that's what generally men prefer, especially more masculine men. We want to know, we need to know the truth, because if we don't, we're going to make decisions which get us killed. The other alternative to that, if you don't have the truth on your side, is you use gossip and rallying and shaming. And I'm not against the existence of shame, but when you use it as a tool instead of an argument, it becomes a problem. They use all of these things in order to take away from the argument. So you don't address the argument, you just shame the person making the argument. If you think that men have something valuable to share with women, then they'll say to you, oh, you're a misogynist. They'll call you a name. If you see that more than half of your speakers are white, they'll say that you're a bunch of racists.
Yeah, that's been interesting. These people are extremely racist, I think, because they're refusing to acknowledge that we have 3 black speakers speaking and some Jews. We got Elliot Hulse, who's black. I think he's black. I mean, he looks black and stuff. He's talked about that. It's kind of confusing.
Native South American, I think.
Yeah, his dad's from Belize. I know he's talked about that. But anyway, in standard everyday American culture, people look at him and they would assume he's black. Steve is definitely black, obviously, and Donovan. And it's like they're calling basically Steve, Donovan, Elliot like white supremacists and all this stuff. It's fucking delusional. Like they're just totally. Oh yeah, Steve the Dean is the white supremacist. Like get the fuck out of here. These people are fucking nuts, man. Like, and they think we're not going to make all women great again. They think this is just for white girls. Oh hell no, we're making all women great again. I don't care if you white women, black women, Asian women, Hispanic women, Indian women. I don't give a shit where you're from or what you look like. We're going to make all women great again.
I think a big part of the reason for the extreme outburst is that these women in their private life, anytime a man like their husband or some other man tells them something they don't like, they're used to getting their way with the screaming and the shaming and the ganging up on him. And all of a sudden there's some men where that doesn't work. And they think, well, maybe I just need to turn the volume up. And they're going to keep doing that. They're going to turn the volume up all the way till they reach the limit that they can go. They're going to realize it doesn't work. And then the temper tantrums will end. They will end at a certain point when they realize that it's ineffective. And that's why we have to kind of just shrug it off and show it's ineffective. Kids do the same thing. You tell the kid, no, you can't have any more chocolate. Sometimes they'll jump up and down and scream and yell and have a fit about it because they're testing you to see if you'll give in. If you give in, then you're going to get the same treatment every time you tell them something they don't like in the future. But if you firmly and patriarchally and calmly say, no, those are the rules. This is what's good for you. This is what's healthy. Then eventually they learn that that's, you're not movable. You can't be moved. Hey, if they have an actual argument, bring the argument to us. We'd love to deal with the argument. We'd love to hear what they have to say. Is something we're saying factually incorrect? Bring it to us. We'll talk about it. Yeah. But if it's just shaming and rallying, there's no basis for us to have a conversation then.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of, ignoring the Democrat-Republican thing in 2016, the political parties and Libertarian and Green Party and all that crap. I think feminists have been used to getting their way for a long, long time. Like they've had a long winning streak with very little serious pushback. And yet in 2016, they had their preordained, they weren't super excited about it, but they wanted to get their way and they thought they were going to get their way. They were going to install the queen matriarch of feminism in their mind in the White House. And that blew up in their face. And not only did they fail to get Hillary Clinton in the White House, who suicides everyone, they instead got Donald pussy-grabbing Trump into the White House. Or that's what ended up happening. And I think that's what, that's in part, we're seeing like a micro, as bad as this is, as big as this is for us, the outrage and all that, this is just a micro expression of what Trump's gotten for years. Not just because he's Republican and they hate him because of that or whatever in his policies and stuff. Just because he's a man, he's an unapologetic man. He doesn't hate women or men. And that's the thing too. I think Hillary Clinton hates men. Donald Trump does not. He's talked openly about how it's a scary time in this country to be a young man because of Me Too and Believe Women and all this other insane anti-freedom crap that they do. Anti-reason and, all men are toxic and guilty and evil and all this shit. So yeah, I think you're hitting the nail on the head, Noah. These people are not getting their way. They think that it's impossible for a convention like this to happen right now. Like that woman screaming about, in her car, to millions. She had, by the way, a following of 2.5 million women or people on her Facebook. And she's screaming. She's like, this is 2020, people. This is a problem. It's like, no, go fuck yourself. Like, yeah, doing what we're going to do.
Bad for us. We can turn them off.
Yeah.
Their sons and their husbands have to deal with this every single day.
Well, I like to say something. Well, I like to say something. I'm reading. I guess her name's Hannah Jade or whatever. How can a man tell a woman how to be a woman? We're not telling you how to be a woman. We're telling you how to get a man. That's what you don't understand. And I think this is the problem coming from the head supremacist, white supremacist. I'm the head trans white supremacist. I feel like I need to change my name to Steve, head of the
Steve,
clan.
you got a hood in your closet?
Yeah, I'm looking for.
Oh my God.
Let me get my Egg McMuffin wrapper. Okay, there we go. So now I've got my now.
Oh shit!
I
There we go.
want to say this as far as the head of the Egg McMuffin white supremacist hood club. That we're not. Yeah, I'm not trying to tell you how to be a woman, but you cannot tell me how to be a man. And last I checked, you're going after my last name and you're going after my ring. So I think you need to learn how you need to fix yourself to catch my eye, because as men, we don't need to get after you. You're coming at us. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the lady in the chat room. I'm just saying that the men on here are a thing called success and marriage. And if you want the successes of men who have been married, what you need to do is start listening to men who are married and showing you what it's going to take for you to make the proper adjustments to be a better woman. That's what we're trying to get across.
Yeah, I can comment on this explicitly too, real quick. For years, I had the 22 convention in mind, like since 2015. But I was like, there's a big problem mission-wise with this because I'm not a woman. I don't know how to be a woman. I've never had that firsthand experience of life. I was born male. I'll always be male. And so there's an issue there. But Make Women Great Again and the stuff Steve's talking about, coming from the perspective of being a man, that's positive and awesome and useful. And so that's different from being a woman. Like I'm not pretending to be a woman. I don't know what it's like to have a period or give birth. But I can tell you what I like as a man. And I know that there's fathers that are going to speak at this event that can tell you how they're raising their daughters and how much they love them and they want the best for them. But these people don't want to hear that. They just want to scream at us. They want us to die. They want us to shoot us and all this crazy stuff. Anyway, Phil, please hop in. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good, man. Perfectly fine. I just wanted to circle back around a little bit on what Steve was speaking on there. I got skin in the game myself. I've got a 15-year-old daughter and I'm married. I've got a wife. And has it all been sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and daisies? No. I mean, there was some education that needed to go along with our relationship. I mean, it just wasn't like, poof, she was the perfect lady for me. There was some orientation. Okay, this is how I like to live. This is my lifestyle. And there was a learning curve there. And it was almost like that learning curve from where we were 10 years ago to now it's exponentially better. Okay.
Yeah.
And the example she sets for my 15-year-old daughter is paramount.
Yep.
Because the simple fact still remains that when we go out in public, I mean, my family is pretty well put together. My wife does her best to look her best at all times. And the same with my daughter. We, as a family, we go out, people look at us crazy. My wife her hair's done. It's natural hair color, no nose piercings, no tattoos, none of that garbage going on. You see what I mean? When I married her, I looked for a particular woman and then I groomed her to the position that I wanted her to be in, to where we could have a comfortable life together.
Yep.
I have no illusions here. I understand that all relationships are transactional here, and I may be blue pill because, I work full time and own my own company and she gets to stay home and have all my resources. Big deal. But the way I look at it is that women that are struggling with, I can't find a good man, this is something good for them, because the examples that'll be set forth. I mean, look on you got Alpha Chad right there on the front page of 22 convention. I mean, there's a lot of girls out there looking for gents like that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And all the speakers actually are intelligent, successful folks. What more could you not want? This poor girl is saying, hey, it's telling women how to be women. Should women tell men how to be more masculine? I look at that comment right there and I just kind of ask myself, well, nobody's telling telling anybody how to be a woman per se. Just like Steve was saying, it's, hey, these are the attributes a successful guy might be looking for.
Mm-hmm.
These are the attributes that you could possibly adopt and change your mindset and outlook on things and get from point A to point B.
Yeah, I'll put it in very blunt terms. I think healthy women who don't hate men and haven't been brainwashed with feminism, they're excited to hear feedback from men, and they want feedback from men and how to be better for those men in ways that make sense to them and are beneficial to their life. Like you talked about, you know, your relationship with your wife now. That to me that should not be controversial. And I also think too, they talk about do we want feedback from women on how to be a man? I mean, men and women are different, so that's a complicated issue. It's not as easy as like, well, women want this and men need to do that, because that can be a trap a lot of the time. But I'm not completely shut off to hearing from women. And I'll tell you right now, feminist women scream all the time about how men should be on the internet. They've been women-splaining for decades, especially with the internet now, all day, every day, toxic masculinity. Everybody needs to be a beta cuck. The APA came within 2 inches of declaring traditional masculinity a fucking mental disorder. I mean, which is feminist indoctrinated professional institution that deals with licensing for psychologists and stuff throughout this country. And then the second we get together and do any kind of conference for women who voluntarily pay to be there, are excited to be there, are happy to be there, want to be there, we're the devil. The patriarchy is coming to destroy everything. We're going to enslave all women. All women are doomed. Like it's been amazing to see the outrage with this stuff, man. It is in every angle. We'll get into that. We're looking at the sales page right now, but yeah, it has been fascinating to see this stuff.
Some of the most positive responses that I've gotten private messages, because I generally find the more feminine women, they don't want to engage in public arguments with feminists. So they will private message. And the positive thing that I get from it is, I didn't have a dad. I was raised by a single mom. This is the basic message I get. And I'd love to hear this information because I don't have anywhere else to hear this. There is nowhere else I can get this information. Maybe through some of the speakers that are going to 22. We've been talking about this maybe for a few years, but to gather it all in one place, we're not trying to tell women what to do. We're offering them an opportunity to get some information that many women lack. And if you think you've already got everything you need, don't show up, but don't take it away from the women that have that need. Don't block women who need this information from getting it by attempting, to shut down something because you don't like it.
I think concur with that 100%, man. A
lot of hate of feminists will hate other young women for various reasons, including, I made these bad decisions. You got to make them too, because if you don't, that really shows up how bad my decisions were.
That's right.
So they're giving bad advice. And
I don't want women doing anything they don't want to do. If you don't want to go to the conference, don't go. If you don't want to watch the videos we publish to millions of women for free after it, don't watch them. Stop trying to silence and censor us like a bunch of pink Bolsheviks, you fucking weirdos. Leave me alone. This is a free country. I have a right of freedom to assembly, to get together with my buddies, to put on a conference where we just peacefully talk to people. These people are psychos, man. And that's really what we're revealing, I think, is why there's so much outrage. They are nuts. And by just organizing together in a positive pro-women way as men, it has just driven them off a cliff, which has been delicious.
There's a few sad things, I'm blunt, I'm an a-hole with being honest with women, but I'll be really honest. I mean, there are a few issues that these women that are yelling at you, Anthony, and mad at everybody and, and saying what they want to say, is that they don't realize every day that goes by, and it's just the truth. When you get in your 30s, the metabolism slows down, the eggs begin to dry up. Those things happen. You got to watch out for the women behind you, the up and coming women and all this other stuff. And for all those women out there that are getting mad at you and all of us, all I say to them is, look at your left finger. Why is there no ring on there? Go and take your hand and reach over to the other side of the empty side of your bed. Why is it cold? And grab a blue light and turn off the lights and look at all the men that have spent time in your bed, but not living in your bed. And those are the realities that they don't want to believe. They think they think they're special, but you're only as special to the man until he gets what he wants from you, because he doesn't see any value in you. And all we're trying to say is, look, we're not saying don't value yourself. We're saying, look, as men, do you want to know the secret of the sauce? Because a woman cannot give you that. And some men can't give you that because some men have been lying to you and giving you bad information. That's why you're where you're at. So what you have done is you compiled a bunch of successful, key word here, successful men, successful husbands, successful fathers. That's the key word, to show those who want success how to get it. So how can you fight that? It doesn't make any sense, brother.
Well, let's look over these whites. So we're looking here at Donovan Sharp and Steve the Dean Williams, who are speakers at the conference. These men have been accused more or less of being white supremacists and angry, fragile white men. If you don't believe me, watch. So here's Steve and Donovan, and here's Blavity. This went up to 300,000 people. A group of fragile white men want this is how fucking retarded this is. This is absolutely Ashley Lakiva Atwell. This is fake news. Absolute. Look at this. How well can you spot fake news? Pretty fucking well, because I'm looking at it right on your fucking page. Fragile white men. Oh, wait, except the 3 black speakers we have, and some Jews, and some old guys, and some young guys, and like fathers and husbands. This shit is delusional, man. This is what Trump's been going through for years, man. Disgusting.
And there's no way in hell a fragile man's going to stand up on the stage and face the crap that we're going to face for speaking at 22Con.
Yep. It's 100% grade A, fake, homogenized, ultra pasteurized bullshit. Fake news, fake media, fake bullshit. Oh, I got to show you guys the fake news press pass too. Yeah, they'll love that shit. Hang on a sec. Let me pull this up. Did you guys hear about the fake news press pass?
Yes.
What is that?
Oh, check this out. This is dope. This is dope as fuck. So we're getting a lot of hate right now. Not just hate, but these media people are hitting me up, like BuzzFeed and Vice News and shit. And they want a free press pass to cover the event, which I'm kind of on edge anyway, because I don't trust these people for shit, because all they do is write fake news for years and years and years. They attack Jordan Peterson, they attack Donald Trump, all this fake bullshit they do, right? So they want, first of all, none of them, at this point, I'm not allowing any of them to come as of yet, but maybe we'll see. So they want to bring cameras and all this bullshit. I'm like, nope, get the fuck out of here. Second, if they do want to attend the 22 for the women's thing, I'm offering them a fake news press pass for $5,000. And they're going to wear a fake news press pass around their neck walking around the event, because I hate these people, because they're liars and losers and haters. And they make up fake bullshit. Like, angry white men they're just blind. These people are so racist, man. They're obsessed with race, A to Z. They ignore our speaking lineup. They just write whatever they want to write. It's disgusting, man. It's disgusting and it's fun.
Anybody who actually gets a press pass and gets in is going to have gold. Like, it's worth the amount you're charging, though.
Oh, of course, yeah. No, I just want to make them eat their shame, like $1 at a time. So.
I was thinking we should probably have like a fenced-in area for them.
Oh yeah. I'm being nice. It's half off. The full price is $10,000 for the fake news press pass. I don't know if you guys saw that. So it's $9,999 for the full fake news press pass. Right now it's $4,999. I might increase the price at any time. And dude, I've sent that out to Vice News, BuzzFeed, Daily Beast, like all these places. I don't give a fuck. You want to be some dishonest, defamatory piece of shit, and you think you're not going to pay for that? Not in dream world, baby.
Yeah, it's good to keep it 100 like that, and just whenever they start that crap up, just put them on blast. I mean, the advertisement right here clearly states that you see Steve and Donovan right there. They're both gentlemen of color. Yep. You got AJ. He's not white all the way, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he's like half Jew. Is he at least half Ashkenazi Jew? I'm 15%.
I can't speak for Mr. Cortez. I don't know exactly. Yeah. I will say that pro-masculine in this day and age, that's the minority.
Yeah.
Feminine women, that's the minority. If anything, there's the hate coming, the visceral hate coming this direction. It's kind of like when Trump won, if you guys remember, they marched all over the Capitol. They put them silly pink hats on.
Yeah.
And you had these, I'm not going to mention their names, but celebrities up on the the podium saying some pretty hateful things towards our president, you know. And
Yeah,
and
Madonna went up as a feminist, a proud feminist, went up on stage during that crap and said she wanted to blow up the White House.
Yes, sir.
And she just thought that was totally fine. Kathy Griffin, nasty woman, chops the president's head off and there's blood all over it and shit. So these people are crazy. They're acting out their fantasies and, what they actually want.
And so that just throws fuel on the fire for these other folks to say, okay, well, if these icons I believe so much in and put so much in, you know, so much belief into, believe this, I need to follow that too. And it's that herd mentality. And there's no really, I mean, it's the corrosiveness of our country, really, of the world, really. It's corrosive to the family, corrosive to women.
Yeah, I'm not black. I was raised by wolves, so I just I'm an Egg McMuffin Klanman, guys, and shame get that right, please.
So let's look at the New York Post. I mean, this has been all over the news. New York Post is one of the bigger ones so far. It also came out last night in The Independent in the UK and stuff, which is a really huge website too. So this is the New York Post. What is this bullshit? New York Post. Mansplaining conference hopes to make women great again. Yeah, we do. And I don't see why that's a problem. I think that's a very positive thing. Hello? Like women, you know, your great grandmothers were better because they didn't hate men and they acted like women and they were proud to be women. Like when I go to Poland, I went to Poland last year twice for the convention, once to scout it and then once to actually do the convention. And yeah, the women there are completely different than in America for my experience. Women there are feminine, my age, and never mind older too. They're feminine, they're sweet, they're positive, they're respectful to men. They expect men to act like men. They have standards for the men in their lives and just walking around in daily life. There's none of this animosity and tension. Dude, I had the presidential candidate in Poland right now, one of them for their election coming up, reach out to me because he loves what we're doing and all these things for 22 and 21 and all this stuff. Yeah, and that's just to me that, you know, Poland's a pretty sane country. They love their country. They're proud Polish. They don't hate men. They don't hate women. They don't hate motherhood. They don't hate families. Walking around Warsaw, Poland, which is like their big city where they view it as like liberal, which is hysterical to me. There's like mothers everywhere. When I first went there, we eventually did it at the Marriott Hotel in Warsaw. When I first scouted the Marriott Hotel in March, there was a huge conference, like a convention expo for motherhood. There was pregnant women walking around everywhere. There's all these young mothers. There's babies. It was just like literally 400 women all there to learn about how to be a mother and pregnancy and all this stuff, and they celebrate it. And like I'd like to do that for America too, with using 22con in the future. Yeah, these people, they're just so hateful to this stuff. That's why I said there's a war on motherhood on the page. There is. They don't want women to become mothers at an early age and follow like in a reasonable time, like their biological timeline. When you're young, fertile, healthy, you can bounce back from pregnancy a lot easier. Your children have a lower chance of having birth defects. And you don't screw up your life by having an endless amount of partners, which is demonstrably through statistics shown that women come out miserable and unhappy. The women who are happiest the most have the least partner count over a lifetime. The women who are the most miserable, the ones who rack up these huge double-digit, triple-digit body counts, where they get their hearts stomped on over and over and over and over again, and then they wonder why they're so bitter and angry. It's like, stop doing that. Who taught you that was okay? Like, that's not good. Oh, we got a private chat. Yeah, so this is the New York Post article. They call it a MAGA hat for the uterus. That's pretty funny, actually. I mean, they're against what we're doing, but not too bad. Some of the other ones, like the Blavity, are just ridiculous fake news. I obviously embraced the mansplaining thing right off the bat because I knew they would call it that no matter what. Even if we had like a woman speaking in like one or two, they would still come at us for mansplaining no matter what, right? So I think it's hysterical. I think mansplaining is a very positive thing. That's what, you know, in a very amusing way, that's what you do for your wife and your daughter. You mansplain. You're a man and you're explaining to them what you think about how to be better and what they need to do and stuff. And people are assholes, man.
Not just to explain it, but to explain things from our perspective as men. We have our unique perspective. There is a lot of shared, you know, you can tell this if you go to a 21con, you can tell that there's a lot of shared perspective, even amongst guys who have fairly different views of the world. Because we're men, we share certain ways of thinking about things. It's all masculine men. And it's important for women to understand that because they have to interact with men. You know, there's nowhere in the world they can go where there's no men, and they have to interact with men, so they need to understand how we think. And they're going to learn a lot about interacting with men at 22Con. They're going to understand how to interact better. And it's, it's not just for young single women that haven't got a man. If you're a married woman and you want to know how to be a better mother, how to be a better wife, this is an excellent place to go. You're going to learn what it is from our perspective as men that we want, what satisfies us. I'm always surprised when men don't understand what women want, women don't understand what men want. And if I ask people, it's because they haven't been asking each other. They haven't been talking to each other. They haven't been listening. Yep. And this
feminists want to silence and censor. Sorry, what?
There's not a lot of places right now to hear what men have to say. Where are you going to go?
Yeah, no, I was talking to Janice Fiamengo through email, and I told her right away, I was like, one of the reasons I chose to have it be all male, at least the first one, is because it's demonstrating at an incredible scale that I did not quite anticipate how silenced, neutered, censored, and mitigated any level of masculine input and voice there's allowed to be in the West right now in America. It all has to be shut down. Men are not allowed to have standards. We're not allowed to have opinions. We're not allowed to present facts. We're not allowed to have arguments. We're not allowed to be, I mean, this is like rampant. I really believe that feminism has become female supremacism. And we're seeing the illustration of that in real life. They don't want men getting together and speaking up to each other and especially to women. Like it's bad enough when we get together as men and talk to men about being men. That we would dare to get together as men and talk to women who want to hear from us is like high treason, absolute cardinal ultimate sin. This writer, this guy James, this Vichy male white knight, admiral in the Vichy male army, he's like a fitness guy. He's always hated AJ, so this is like an opportunity for him to attack AJ yet again. He's called it the most vagina-drying Stepford wife training conference ever imagined. Thank you. I appreciate the hatred. This is a little clever. This one's funny. And he just goes on to attack it. Oh, his first up is attacking the dead guy. This is the only speaker we've ever had who's died. He died of eyeball cancer, which is why he has an eye patch on. He died a few months after giving this talk, and he's trying to make fun of it. Wow, way to rip on the dead, asshole. Jesus, man, these people are animals. Oh, and he's going after AJ for warning people about women who have weird hair colors. Yeah, you know what? It's kind of weird when chicks have blue and green hair. I don't think that's very I mean, power to you for freedom. Like, hey, man, we live in a free country. But yeah, it's kind of odd, and I'm glad AJ's speaking up on it. And he's going after Molly New for the egg thing. Yeah, sweetie, your eggs die as you get older. Hello. And it's not like a linear thing that falls off a cliff. Like the wall is real. Hello. These people are so anti-fact and anti-rational and anti-reality. I'm glad they're upset and crying. I'm really glad. I wish I could collect all their salty tears and make like an ocean out of them or something, just to swim in all the tears. I don't know, something like that. These people are animals, man. Elliot, this is not even a speaker. This is I don't even know what the fuck they're going after Elliot, I guess, now or something. These people are animals, man. Fucking animals.
It's interesting. One of the comments I see in the chat, it says, I think America's just getting worse. And I think what you're seeing now, exactly that comment right there. I think what you're seeing now is a reaction to that. This is like a wake-up call for all of us, really, as men, in the masculinity side of things. The patriarchy is important for Western civilization through eons of time, through all the cycles of time. It's gone back and forth, and almost every society in ancient times, when it went to patriarchy, succeeded, and it went to matriarchy, it failed. And I'm not saying anything more than that fact right there speaks for itself. And that's why we see such a decline in Western society today. To have your voice quelled or quieted or attacked because of your view and opinion is ridiculous. My wife knows straight up, if she walks in the door with anything other than her natural hair color, she's got to go. That's not on my program. Good. She respects my boundary.
How dare you have standards, Phil?
Yeah, exactly.
You toxic monster having boundaries and standards for your life as a man. Oh no. Call the patriarchy police. Send you to the feminist gulag. Fucking. Here's George Takei. Beam us up, Mr. Schooler or Suler, whatever the fuck you do. No, take us out, Mr. Sulu. He sent this to over 10 million people. George Takei, Mr. Sulu from Star Trek. He was attacking it on Twitter too, like, whatever. Oh no. These people are such losers, man. We should go over, you know what we should do? We should go over the where the fuck here it is. The review page, the reviews for 22 convention coming in. Oh man, they're hysterical. On Facebook. Let's get that going.
And it's kind of like, as you're pulling all this stuff up, it's interesting how these people have hated on you so much for bringing this kind of awareness to the general public, really, and setting something like this up, that the more they talk about it, the more free publicity you get. So more power to them. Keep it up,
Yeah, I just watched Trump for years, man, like how to play these people, and I just put that into action, and it's really, it's so easy to rile them up because they're so fragile. That's why everything they're doing is, this term is overused today on the internet, but it has real meaning: projection. It's psychological projection. They're calling us misogynistic and fragile. No, you're fragile. That's why you're screaming your head off at a conference you don't have to go to, and that you're not involved with, and that is not going to really affect you. They're screaming fragile. They're screaming misogynistic. No, they hate women. They hate women who want to be women. They hate women who want to be feminine. They hate women who want to be mothers at 22 instead of 32 or 42. 35, by the way, is the age for geriatric pregnancy, advanced maternity age. That's when the rate of birth defects goes to the roof, or the risk and pregnancy problems and all these things. These people are nuts, man. Deeply misogynistic. They expect women to pay $2,000 so they can be mansplained and body shamed. No, I think women want to be healthy and fit, and that's very rational and normal for them to want. The tickets are $2,000 if you buy literally the morning of the event in May. Right now, they're $500 a woman. This is fake news crap. These people are stupid.
Well, it's that man.
What?
That's a man making that review.
Oh yeah, the white knights are out in force, but there's plenty of these feminist bigots too.
Worse than the female feminists.
Yeah, they're the most disgusting. So Sarah Nolan, who got a chick here, a thoroughly effective way to make sure all misogynistic idiots who more than likely can't find a clitoris in one place. Ha 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 ha! A real funny lady.
I can find my wife's clitoris easily.
Yeah, man. Yeah, these people they're just losers, man. They just insult, attack, ad hominem. They have no argument. It's unfathomable to them that men would get together for genuinely positive, benevolent intentions for women who, through capitalism and freedom, have every intent and right to come here to speak. We're offering them tickets. They're on sale. Get in a car or a plane and come to the convention. Have a good time. There's going to be dinners and drinks and meet and greets and videos we'll record you can get for free and all this stuff. These people are just animals. They think they're doing a service by attacking us. They're just helping us. These people are stupid.
Well, it's important to understand too that the social media shows a skewed perspective. So the feminists, they're loud, they're aggressive, they're bullies, and they show up. And especially on social media, there's much more of them than you'll meet in real life. The reality is the vast majority of women do not agree with the radical stances that these feminists are taking. The vast majority of women are somewhere between a little bit feminist and anti-feminist. And this reaction that we're getting is going to turn more women off of feminism. They did some studies with young women. This happened to be in the UK. And they asked how many of them were feminist. And then the ones who said, no, why not? And most of them said, we're not feminists because feminists are horrible, ugly harpies with blue hair, and we don't want to be like that.
Yep.
So we're helping to show the face of the very small radical minority to the majority, so the majority understands that they want to separate themselves from them, want to separate themselves from the feminists. And as they separate, the feminists will lose power in society. They'll lose their influence. And it'll actually work the opposite. Doing the opposite of whatever a feminist says will become the rebellion. That will become the cool thing to do. And that's not going to happen if we let feminists control the stage. And if they're the only ones talking, they have all the power.
Well, that's one of the reasons they're spazzing out, is they realize they're losing control of the narrative. There's men with a professional organization, a media company, a large YouTube channel. We have powerful speakers. All of us have followings and fans, but we also have huge speakers backing us too that are part of the event and happy to spread their message for women. Elliot Hulse has over 2 million YouTube subscribers. Molyneux has about 1 million. Cernovich has over 500,000 Twitter followers. These are men who are husbands and fathers. All of them are fathers and husbands who love women, who have daughters and all these things, and they want women to do well. You know what I find amazing is, like, I'm a young American. I'm 31 years old. I love my country. I want young American women to do well. Why would I want anything else for my country and literally the political, cultural environment around me? These people are fucking delusional, man. But here we are too. They expect, look at this sexist bigot, man. This is nothing but misogyny. No, you're the misogynist, lady. They expect women to pay $2,000 to be raped. These are men and fathers. These people, this is like defamatory insanity, man. Like, get a grip and leave us the fuck alone, or keep bitching and driving us traffic. Like, whatever they do, they're just losing. Here's a guy who loves women. Like, he's got his girlfriend. He's kissing her in this thing. Brendan Schweck. Great speakers, insightful, learning opportunity for all. I love it. See? Boom. Yeah, and it keeps going. I mean, there's literally like a couple hundred of these. A sad misogynistic attempt by an idiot man-child. No, it was actually a lot of us, lady. To find a woman to accept his micropenis. Oh yeah, apparently all of us have micropenises. All of us are incels. All of us are micropenises. All of us are white nationalist supremacists, including the black guys. We're all the devil. We're all toxic. We all hate women, apparently. The only men who love women are these subservient Vichy males who just cheerlead like these fake nice guys to get in these girls' pants, all of which are fucking Me Too. They all have Me Too allegations coming, like Harvey Weinstein and shit. The worst misogynists in the country are either feminists or these Vichy males. These Vichy males, like, you know, the Weinsteins and crap that suck up to women in public, these feminists. Losers, man. Like the James Fell. That guy's probably, who the fuck knows what he's doing behind the scenes. You know, micropenis and, yeah, the micropenis stuff. So for women to be great with the lynching,
commented on women's sexual organs in the way that feminists use that to attack us. Then they have a legitimate reason to complain. You know, we keep coming at this from a positive aspect. They keep attacking in the negative.
Yeah, and apparently, so here's a guy, Chris Tiffany, sexist, racist, misogynistic. Blah blah blah. No, you are the racist, lady. You are sexist. You are misogynistic. You hate women who don't want to leave the feminist misery plantation and do something different, and you can't fucking deal with that. Loser, Chris Tiffany. Jackie, I'm just reading these off, having fun. You guys are free to read these off too if you want. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, what an amazing experience, man. I can't wait to do it at this point. Like, you know what's actually interesting to me is oh wait, not a full screen layout. There we go. So I don't think these feminists, as angry as they are, they don't realize yet like what we're doing. We'll pull that up too, I guess. Well, I don't know a good way to do it, but let's see. Well, the easiest way to say it is, you know, people are obsessed with the conference right now, right? They're flipping out over the tickets and the event and the speakers, and they're focused on this little 3-day event. You know, it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be amazing. All of our stuff is super professional. It's going to be safe, secure, and private, like it always is with law enforcement and security through the licensed security and stuff. What they don't get, though, is because they don't know us and what I do with the videos, which is that I publish them for free, and they get thousands and sometimes millions of views. Sean Smith, for example, his speech I put out, I don't know, 90 days ago or 100, like a little over 3 months ago or something. It's got 310,000 views now. It's free. The whole world is seeing it. All over the world, people, hundreds of thousands of men and women are watching it. You know, from Dr. Sean Smith, psychologist, Tactical Guide to Women author. We're going to do that with all the speeches from this event. These women, it's not going to stop with, you know, the 100 women or 200 women or whatever that show up, or who knows how many. It's going to reach millions. And I'm really excited to see how many, you know, red-haired, you know, blue-haired feminists go crazy when these videos start rolling out. And they're in 4K and they're beautiful and they're cinematic and it's all professional and stuff. They're really going to lose their shit. Because that's really, I think what's happening is they're trying to stop the event. And some of them maybe do see what's going on, like probably the ones trying to organize these protests and stuff. Because if we get these speeches done, and when we get these speeches done with the conference and they're filmed, that's it, man. Like game over. It's not game over, but it's game over for a major battle. Publishing these videos for millions of young women to watch on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook is going to really piss them off. These young women are going to have finally an alternative narrative to look at. They don't have to do what we say, but they can. What we recommend and what we think and what we advise and what our opinions are and what we believe the research shows. But yeah, they're trying to shut that off in the first place, like you're saying, Noah. They don't want that happening. They have to stop it. and they're not going to stop it because we're the best and we're awesome, and they suck and they're a bunch of losers.
Well, there's another point too that if they stop, there's precedent. So if they stop the event, it's going to be extremely hard to have another one. If they don't stop the event, which they're not going to,
Yep.
the second event becomes easier. The third event becomes even easier. The 10th event, now it's normal. This is just the way it is.
Yeah.
They want to take away from women the alternative to follow the path we're suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
Once the alternative is there, women have a choice. Follow their natural biological instincts that they've been programmed to do for millions of years, or dye their hair blue and buy cats.
Yeah.
Like, this is not going to be hard for young women to make this decision. We have to normalize the natural path so that they can do it without a lot of shame.
I think a lot of women out there are mad right now, and they continue to be mad, Anthony. But I also think that they are silently speaking to you behind the scenes and want more information for themselves, because you got to understand, we're in a time where everybody's worried about what the next person thinks about them, especially women. Since women have been in elementary school, it's always been, I don't want to be talked about or judged, especially by other women. So they might scream and hold the pitchforks with the women on online. But as soon as they turn off their computer or whatever, they probably are getting in touch with you, trying to get more information, and they're going to secretly go to this and not just tell anybody they're going, because they want to know. They probably look at their friends and they say, you know what, I don't want to be that woman. I don't want to be 35 and by myself, or 40 by myself, or I want a man. I want a relationship. I want a husband. I want children. And yeah, I'll pretend like I'm following everybody. I hate Anthony, and this is, all the rhetoric, and all y'all are racist. But as soon as she breaks from that herd, I think a lot of these women are secretly trying to get the information without judgment, brother.
And that starts right there, that turning them from that depravity. It starts at a young age. Like I said, I got skin in the game. I got a 15-year-old little girl, a young woman that I look at every day, and I see the wolves checking her out. I'm I kind of like give them that look on the side that she's not even paying attention, But
hey man, my grandma was married and pregnant at 16, man. She gave birth to my uncle, and she was married for over 40 years before my grandfather died of esophagus cancer.
Yeah. And don't you find that interesting, is that demographic, our grandparents married for 40, 50, like my folks are coming up on their 45th wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you don't, I mean, there's a reason why the divorce rate is so high. It's because these girls, they get out and they get to college, and it's like there was no masculine leadership in the home, and dad didn't show them, hey, this is the example I'm setting for you to set the precedent to find the right guy for you when you mature. And it's interesting, the more I up my game and the more I keep things tight around my home, the more my child's standard is actually set higher.
Yeah, of course.
She turns her nose up at probably 5 out of every 6 guys that approach or talk to her. She's no, you can't hang. That's not it. And it really starts with them being younger, and then having a true masculine leader in the home. Was my dad always around? Unfortunately, no. He was in the military, flew jets. So, a lot of my time I was raised by my mom. And as I've matured, I can see the difference in not having dad around all the time from some of the things I've picked up over the years and through the manosphere and my readings and whatnot. And the people that I associate with, I've learned a lot. And I will say that it all starts with a strong masculine leader. Mm-hmm. And the more they bray and they fuss and fight about it, in the end, you're absolutely correct. That biological calling of, okay, the time is ticking, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. It's coming to an end. And 35 approaches fast, and unfortunately these girls get off into college, and then they just, well, we've all seen the pictures, we've all been to the parties. We know what happens, and it's really a sad situation. And that, I think, from a younger age, if we can instill more masculine leaders in the home, and then educate women on what a true masculine leader is, that will help bring the divorce rate down, in my opinion, which will save which will save our next generation of children.
Yep.
And turn this cycle of depravity, and America is lost to a golden age, and we're winning again.
That's right. Yeah, you know, one thing I was just thinking about, I know Noah here talks a lot about, I don't know exactly the exact quote, but I've heard him say on the show and elsewhere that like all real action comes from the heart. And I think that's what we've tapped into. We've tapped into the fact, and this is really pissing off the feminists because they've completely lost touch with that. They're the hardcore ones, these harpies that are angry and screaming, are the highest illustration of that right now. They don't love men, and they don't love themselves, and they don't love women, and they don't love family, and they don't love family values, and they don't love motherhood, and they don't love fatherhood. They hate all these things, more or less. There's like a spectrum, I think. Well, we've tapped into that. We've tapped into the fact that women are hardwired to love men, and men are hardwired to love women. And we have tapped into that at an incredible depth and scale that is really, really, really pissing them off. It's showing them what a bunch of frauds and hypocrites they are. Not just in the fake news, you know, calling the black guys white supremacists and shit. Like, you know, and all these men, they hate, you know, misogynists. Oh yeah, I'm sure these fathers that have daughters that they love and would die for hate women. Fucking delusional. Yeah, I think we go ahead, Rono. This is all you, man.
Motivation comes from emotions. So emote, motivate is the reason those words sound alike, same roots. Then if you take away all the love, all you've got left is hate. That's the other. Basically, there's two things that motivate us. There's love and hate. Sometimes fear, but you could say that's part of hate. So there's love and hate. If you take away all the love, you got hate. I'll tell you something. What we're doing, what you're doing, and we're helping you with putting on 22 Convention. If we were doing this for anything except for love, we wouldn't do it.
That's right.
We are deeply concerned. I have 3 sons. I'm deeply concerned about the quality of women that will be around when my sons get old enough to marry.
Yep.
Deeply concerned about some of the other speakers. They actually have daughters. They're deeply concerned about the influence of their daughters. They're concerned about their daughters' friends as well. Mm-hmm. They're concerned about what's happening to the young men that could one day be the husbands of their daughters. We have this deep concern about what's happening in the future, and we're taking this huge risk, professional risk. This is risking people's professions. We're getting threats. We're getting threats of violence, terroristic threats. We're not doing this. We're not going to get rich doing this. We're not going to get famous doing this, not infamous maybe. Yeah. We're not doing this for our own benefit. We're doing this because we're deeply concerned about the kind of women who are attracted to this message. And we want to help them and help our own children have a better future. You know, this is very different than the feedback we're getting from the radical fringe elements.
Yeah. You know, pardon me. One of the things I talked about on the page, let me pull this up real quick. I talked, and it's gotten a lot of attention, thankfully. We pulled back up yet? No, I'm pulled up here. Yeah. So on the page, I talked about, let's see, this has gotten a lot of heat. I really love that I put it in there. I didn't think too much about it when I put it in, but because to me, it's just normal. Like, to me, this is obvious on a common sense level. I talked about that there's toxic bullying feminist dogma today for women. And these people have shown that at an incredible level, that they're so hateful and mean-spirited and vicious and bullying. They just want to bully all these women. This is what's going on. You're seeing women fight now in public on social media. I call them dream girls versus nasty women. Someone on Twitter told me to call them dream girls, the pro 22 girls. But yeah, they're fighting because they're tired of getting bullied around by these feminists in public, on the internet, and in real life too. But they're not allowed to be traditional and feminine and pursue motherhood and not deprioritize it to your 39 pushing 40. And so I really love that I put that in here, and I'm glad that it's triggered the shit out of these people. It is dogma. That's why you're not allowed to think outside the box. They're not, these women, any woman seen as leaving, you know, the feminist plantation of misery and depression and cats and cheap wine is seen as a traitor, and she has internalized patriarchy syndrome. You know, she's stupid. You know, she's a Trump supporter. Blah 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 blah. Whatever. It's amazing how these people are just bullies, man. This is like middle school, grade school bully level stuff. Like out of not even in real life, like out of a movie, like over the top, like ridiculous bullshit, man. Yeah, that is toxic bullying feminist dogma. It's all loser crap, man. And they keep trying to latch on to like women's suffrage and women being treated equal before the law. There's not a man on this panel that doesn't want women to be treated equal before the law that we're speaking. These people are making this bullshit up, of which, of course, right? What else is new in this country? Fake news. But yeah, these people are just stupid, man. It is dogma. It's dogma, and they're proving that. Like, I called them that. I called them out on it, and they're just proving it by screaming at us and screaming at the women who are supporting it and buying tickets and signing up and emailing us. There are women buying tickets. There are women emailing in, trying to volunteer, have discounts. There are brothers buying tickets for their sisters and stepsisters and stuff. Like, and there's men from Patriarchy bringing their wives. Like, this is such a positive thing. These people are just animals, man. Like, I knew I hit the nail on the head when I wrote that, but I don't know. It's kind of also kind of normal for me to say this kind of shit. But yeah, it's amazing. They've proven my point, and at a scale that I didn't think was really going to happen. I didn't really know anyway. So it's amazing, this whole thing, man. Here's the latest big one that came out. This came out yesterday. This is from The Independent. This, I think, is part of the Associated Press, so this is big. I think this is even bigger than the New York Post, because that means it's now going to get into other Associated Press. That's like New York Times and other Miami Herald, like major newspapers. Disturbingly misogynistic conference run by only by men, pledges to make women great again. How is it misogynistic? They just make this bullshit up. Look at this. Yeah, it's a mansplaining event. Oh, these stupid ads. This bullshit out of here. All right, whatever. Anyway, yeah, it's just disgusting, man. They're just going to make all this spin up. This will continue, of course, right? They're going to call us racist, misogynistic, sexist, all this bullshit. It's all projection, man. Over and over and over and over again. Look at this. Kate Kelly, a New York-based human rights lawyer at Equality Now, a non-government organization, raised concerns about the event. This conference demonstrates its administration has emboldened those anti-female tendencies. Yeah, this is not anti-female. It's pro-female, liar. Unacceptable celebration. It is a celebration of women, asshole. Misogyny always looks couch and celebration of women. No, liar. These people hate. These are the people screaming toxic masculinity for years and screaming how men are vicious and violent and evil and toxic, which is just made up bullshit, man. They're the cause of this crap. It's Orwellian stuff. It's clown world, man. Yeah, men prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos. It's like John Fitch said, and he reviewed our stuff. Like, where's the lie? Men prefer debt-free virgins without tattoos. What are we supposed to like? Women who've had 100 notch count, $200,000 in debt, and all this other crap? Like, hello.
See, what they fail to realize is with that 100 notch count right there is, as she matures, that woman matures, that lady matures, whoever she is, she's going to fail to pair bond over and over and over again because there's nothing left. And that's the mind shift that we have to communicate, is that, hey, find the right guy to begin with. Start when you're a little bit younger. When you head off to college, why don't you make the right choice instead of making the wrong choice?
Yeah, a bunch of times, not just once, but 20, 30, 40 times.
Exactly.
I've had a few businesses and hired hundreds of people. And when I'm looking at a resume, if I see the guy's had 100 jobs in the last 5 years, I don't hire him because I know he can't bond to a job. He can't stick with things. He doesn't know how to work things out. There's definitely problems there. If you're breaking with guy, even if it's your plan, you're not doing it because you can't handle it. You're doing it because that's what you want to do. It's going to wreck that pair bonding ability. And hey, maybe you can pair bond. Maybe you can't. I'm not going to take the risk. Most men won't take the risk.
Yep.
And women need to know the truth of this. We're just telling them the truth. What they do with it is up to them.
Yeah, look at this. Look at this here. There is undoubtedly, she says, severe regression in women's rights, both here and in the UK and Europe, as well as the USA, which is part of the dangerous. This is delusional. Name one. You can't name a single fucking. They just make this. It's like when women were marching when Trump was elected. They're like, and they're for women's rights. Like, what rights did you lose at that time? Nothing. What have you lost since? Nothing. These people are there's delusional, man. I think it's like, I wonder how much this has to do with like penis envy and like this old school, like Freudian psychological stuff. Like, these people are just nuts, man. They're so unhinged and they just scream at people that they're unhinged. We're trying to get together and have the rational, like calm, peaceful conference. And they're trying to call in bomb threats and harass the venue. And they want us to die and they want us to shoot the place up. These people are nuts, man. Disgusting. These fucking bigots, man. We're witnessing the escalation of state-sanctioned violence on our human rights. I hate that term human rights. It's a lie. Every time they use human rights, they don't mean individual rights. They mean these collective group rights. A bunch of animals, man. These people are disgusting. Ugh. Make me want to vomit. What else can we? There's so many articles about this stuff. I've been collecting. You know, we have a huge. Me and my team have been collecting all the stuff over recent days. It is amazing how many articles got made. Oh, but you know, we should look at. We should look at the. Oh, let's look at that mom who's screaming. That's amazing. We got to look at that one. Molyneux tore a new one too. Let's look at that.
Before you go off of that, it says, indeed, we are witnessing an escalation of state-sanctioned violation of our human rights. But this is the scary part about it all for me. Women's human rights defenders will be mobilizing to meet this deadly threat head on. Yeah. Silence is no longer an option. So my question is to that person that wrote that blurb right there, what is the threat when all we're doing is giving some advice? Yep. How is that a threat to anything other than what? Other than possibly changing your mindset or possibly looking at another way of looking at things to where you can be a better person down the road instead of single, nose piercing, 50 cats in your living room, and purple hair. I just don't get it.
Did she say silence is no longer an option? When have they ever taken that as an option?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says that. That's the last thing. Silence is no longer an option. I mean, I was reading that as what caught my eyes when Anthony, he highlighted the human rights, and that's what really drew my eye to it. But there it is. Yeah, the very last sentence. It's incredible. And the sad part is as men, the masculine message has been silenced for far too long.
Yeah, and I'll say this too. I hate this term human rights. I do like individual rights. I'm a strong proponent of individual rights from the Declaration of Independence onwards, and all the things associated with that, through the Constitution and stuff in America. But feminism has been a major assault on individual rights, or they would call it maybe human rights in America. It's been an assault on fathers' rights and men's rights through the wazoo. And I don't even call myself really a men's rights activist. Like, I'm not an active part of that community. I'm sure I'll be called that, and I've been called that, I'm sure now, because of this, what we're doing and stuff. But yeah, fathers getting fucked over in divorce court and child custody and all this stuff in this ridiculously biased court system throughout the United States and family court. That's not good for kids. That's not good for men. That's not good for fathers. That's not good for children. That's not good for their daughters. That's not good for their sons. That's not good for the future of this country. There's a reason that equality before the law is important, and these people are not about that. They hate that. They're all for female supremacism. Men are evil and toxic. Men's rights don't exist. It's all about rights for women that never end and have no limit. They're not even I'm for negative rights, meaning leave me the fuck alone. Individual rights, real rights, not these positive rights, this endless welfare and all this crap, this free crap they want to steal from other people. It's disgusting, man. Disgusting. Let's we should look at that video from the mom real quick. This is hysterical. We got to show the audience this stuff. Let me pull this up on her Facebook
While
page.
you're whipping that up, I want to go over a couple of comments I see in the chat. Is that okay?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Ultra Testosterone says government is always stronger than any alpha. A couple of comments before that. It doesn't matter how masculine you are when married. You become beta regardless. Marriage contact, I think he meant to say contract, makes you beta. I disagree with that. Wholeheartedly, 100%.
You know what? This is and I'm gonna piggyback what you're saying. See, this is why women are the way they are, because of comments like this. That's some feminine, emotional type comments, man. There's no backing statements to that, because if you're talking that way, you're telling me you can't even get a woman thinking that way you thinking. Oh, it's like you're just on here beating your chest for some reason. I don't even know why you would even say something like that. But anyway, Anthony, I think you should save every article, because it might not be in our generation, but this is going to play a huge role somewhere down the line. I don't know where, because I'm not Nostradamus, but I'm saying that things like this that you're doing, is it going to be a catalyst or a springboard to show other men later on down the line, when we're no longer around, that they can pick up your baton and keep things going. So this is a good thing, in my opinion, brother.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
And as you're whipping that up, one more he had written out was the only way to win at marriage is to avoid it. I disagree with that too. I think if you marry the wrong woman, I think if you have a woman that's of low value, that's unteachable to your way of life, and you're a weak person, you can't lead your family and your wife and your children, then yeah, you don't need to get married because you're weak to begin with. And that's just my stance on that.
That's 100.
Yeah, I've been laughing. Go ahead.
Should men in their 20s date or should they wait? And the reality is it depends on the man. If you're a man, as you described, that can pick the right woman, that has a lot of times we're only looking at the individual. If you got family support, if she's got family, if her parents are married and her family's anti-divorce, and she's maybe in a church where divorce is not an option, and everyone around her is anti-divorce, her chance of asking for a divorce is pretty close to zero. I have no fear that my wife will divorce me, because if she divorced me, she'd lose all of her friends. She'd lose everything. It should never come to court. If it's got to the court, you've already failed. You failed somewhere. Either you picked the wrong woman or you didn't know how to keep her. At some point you failed. And there's a lot of effort by men who fail to put all the responsibility onto the women and not take any of it themselves. That's not high agency behavior. Yeah. That's not how you be a man. A man takes responsibility. Even when he doesn't have full control over things, he takes responsibility for the outcome. Yeah.
Let's look at this. This was my favorite video reaction. This got sent to over 2.6 million people on Facebook. This woman runs a blog. I forget what it's called. Molyneux went over it on his channel too. You can look at it. He did a really good job breaking it down. But she says she has a big following on Facebook. It got sent to 2.5 million people. It's got about 500,000 views right now, 2,000 comments. And this is really amazing. I mean, this woman is the epitome of who needs to attend the, well, I don't know if I really want her there, but maybe I'll give her a fake news press pass she can have, because obviously she's biased, so she qualifies for fake news, extremely biased. But she's the epitome of a woman who needs to be great again. Like, this is not feminine behavior. It's highly irrational. It's screaming. It's unhinged. And you guys are going to see that now. I'm not even exaggerating a little bit. People think I speak in hyperbole all the time. I don't have to in this case, man. This is 100% like off the chain retarded. Let's look at it.
It's muted.
Oh shit. How do we get audio on that? Donovan used to get that stuff. Man, I wish I could get audio for that. I don't want to get audio for it. Shit. Well, I guess you guys have to look it up on Facebook. You could type "make women great again." That's inappropriate. Steve, do you want to get audio on this thing? I don't know how to get.
Well, you're pulling that together. I will tell you, just from looking at her picture of the freeze frame, you know, there's a lot of problems with that picture. A hoodie.
Oh yeah. Oh, she bitches about sweatpants and all these. She's like,
yeah.
What'd you say? We gotta be more feminine.
Out in public. I mean, no makeup. I mean, she has no pride in herself. God bless her.
No, this is a mess. I mean, Molyneux's man, how do I get the audio for this? I know there's a way to do it.
She talks about verbally abusing her kids and terrorizing them, and she doesn't do it as in a mea culpa. It's yeah, this is what I do, and she's proud of it. You know, this is normal behavior. Can you imagine being married to a woman like that? If you don't want to be married to a woman like that, come to 21 Con Patriarch Edition, and we're going to teach you how to avoid these kind of women. And if you are a woman and you want to avoid becoming this woman, there's no reason that she was like this her whole life. At some point, she probably got a lot worse. Come to 21 Con. We're going to teach you how to avoid becoming this woman.
I think when I saw that video, I think she's married to a cook. You know, I think she's married to a soft guy, because you can tell her attitude, like, and like you were saying, Phil, no makeup, how her hair is. She's not presentable, and she's very argumentative. She's very loud, and she's not being ladylike. There's no femininity in her that I see, and I just think that this is the problem. If she was married to any of these guys on this panel, not only would she not have put that video out, she wouldn't be acting that way, she wouldn't be talking that way, and she wouldn't be dressing that way.
Yeah, so I wanted to point out here too that Molyneux went through her blogs, just some of her blog posts he found. I didn't even know about these. Molyneux, of course, did the research, which is what he's known for, and he very quickly found a gold mine of insane shit this woman's been posting. So the first article he pulled up was the day mommy lost her shit. Spoiler alert, it wasn't the last. She just brags about how, like, basically how nuts she is. And like every other like shitty parent in the country like applauds this stuff. It gets better though. I mean, she calls her children, what is it? She calls her children terrorists. Her toddlers are terrorists. I had to know if they. Where is it? It's in your Molyneux's video. I dropped a link in the chat too. You guys should be able to pull it up. I think it's here.
Likens them to the plague and a hemorrhoid.
Oh well. She calls her children. She has 3 children. She calls them 3 hemorrhoids. It's crazy. I'm a liar. 13 white lies I tell on a daily basis. Meredith Masony. This is what she tells her kids. She just lies to them constantly. This is like child abuse, man. Emotional abuse. This is stupid. Why are you lying to your kids, lady? Asshole, man. Yeah, I guess. And then keep going. Go ahead.
That's fundamentally what I was talking about earlier. That's the problem. Right there. So she's already, instead of breaking that chain of negativity and being that way, she's planting those seeds in those children from a young age. I don't know. I haven't seen the video, Anthony. I can't comment on it.
Oh, you got to watch it. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, dude, you're gonna die.
The moral of the story is, if you don't set that example and that standard from a young age, the cycle will just continue on. And that's the horrible part of it all. Teaching your children how to lie. I mean, that's no way to live. That's for sure.
Yeah, Kathy here's asking. By the way, in the website he found, the blog of this woman's been writing for millions of readers. 10 signs your toddler is a terrorist. It sounds like a joke, and it's not. Like, she actually gets. I mean, they're not literally like criminal terrorists, but your toddler is a skillful negotiator. Uses psychological torture tactics. It's gross, man. She's abusive. She even talks about when she got mad one point at her kids, she took her children's toys and started breaking them, ripping them apart, ripping the arms off and shit.
If your toddler knows how to psychologically torture people, it's because he learned from you. They
Damn.
Years in the mind.
Mic drop.
Kathy A asks, are any of these guys married?
Yeah, a bunch of them are married. Hello. Like the 3 guys in this panel are married. All 3 are married, right? Yeah. Duh.
18
I'm not
years
married.
I got 3 kids under the age of 6.
20 years, sweetheart, 5 kids, 20 years married.
Yep.
10 working on 11. 1.
Yeah. I look forward to having a huge family someday. I'm gonna have like Tanner Guzzi style, like a bunch of babies and stuff. It's gonna be awesome. So I have zero problem with guys getting married and building a family and stuff. I think that's fantastic. I think that's extremely healthy and rational to do as a human being. And I'm skeptical when guys, don't ever want to get married and have make children someday. That's kind of odd to me. As a living, breathing, and that goes for women too, by the way. As a living, breathing organism, you don't want to successfully reproduce in a way that is conducive to happiness and building a great life. Like, that's weird. So yeah, these people are just nuts, man. And we've really stepped on that in this country. I love it. It needed to happen. Some people are upset. Most people are really happy behind the scenes. Some people are upset and stuff, but most are just loving it. Yeah, full psycho. Damn right. This lady's nuts, man. But, I think when you see, I've talked about this, on a political level too. But just let's focus on culture. Culture is broken right now. Cobra Tate was recently in America on InfoWars. He talked about America as a failed society. There's a reason he's saying that. AJ Cortez has said that America is spiritually sick. I agree. But it's time we do something about that. I don't want this country to die. I want it to live and be happy and prosper for forever, for decades and hundreds of years and stuff. And to do that, I think it requires breaking tension and creating cognitive dissonance in people that have really fucked up negative values. And that's what we've done. And that requires this explosion of outrage. This was always going to happen. It just needed to happen. These people are crazy and violent and delusional and unhinged and irrational. Yeah, there's no way around that, them getting upset. Sooner or later, they're going to get pissed off at something like this. Whether it was us doing it or some other organization doing it, it was going to happen sooner or later, and it needed to happen, and it needs to happen. I've talked about in my speech, and so has Mike Cernovich in his interview with George Bruno at the 21 convention last year, the Patriarchy edition. There's no positive media and education for women today. It's all just negative or nothing. Men have the manosphere. We have everything that we're doing. We have all these communities and all these Reddit communities, online communities and companies and organizations and coaches. Women have almost nothing. There's a few scattered ones that I'm talking to, thank God. They're coming to the convention now on a press pass to come to see what we're doing and review it and be there and stuff. These female YouTubers and these women on Twitter and stuff, there are some, but they're very loosely connected and they're not organized like the manosphere. And a lot of people don't even realize I want those women to get together and organize. I plan to do that someday. I would love to do the 22 convention pink edition where it's all women talking to women. I can't wait to do that. That's going to be even more of a shit show on the internet, and it's going to be awesome. And women are going to talk to women about how to be feminine. I look forward to doing that. These people look at us right now and they think it's a joke or satire or something. It's not. I'm very serious, and it's going to get even better. We're going to do a motherhood edition someday too, whereas all mothers speaking to young women on stage, just like the Patriarchy edition is all fathers. We're going to have workshops, and it's going to be speeches, and it's going to be amazing. And there's nothing they can do to stop us. Women love this stuff. Because I think, I went back, I talked about it earlier. Women love men, man. Like, hello, you're a human being. You love the opposite sex. You're hardwired this way. Yeah, I can't wait, man. These people get triggered over anything. Just
right
wait.
right there in the comments, Kathy A says, I don't need to impress any other man than my husband. And then the next comment says, who cares what anybody else thinks? And she said, Kathy comes back and says, isn't that the purpose? I would say that Kathy A has a decent gentleman in her life because she strives to make him happy. One of the things with my wife, and I'll just go ahead and disclose this now, when she displeases me, she strives to not displease me. She actively goes out of her way to make sure that everything is done to my standard. And this other gal right here says, who cares what anybody else thinks? Really outside of our home, I don't care what anybody thinks. I really don't care at all, but because we live a certain way and that's how it is. But I will tell you that when I'm on my game and I'm doing things right, my wife can be on her game and do her things right. And it works good. Works great. So I agree with Kathy. Good job, girl.
Yeah. That's been a lot of fun, man. This is, it's amazing. It's only January 11th, 2020. And the amount of shit we managed to stir up just by trying to help women and put men together and husbands and fathers to do that has been just astounding. Another benefit too, though, is that the 21 convention and 21 studios are getting major, major press because of this, which I think is really good for men too. It's good that it's finally good. We've been getting the word out for years. We get millions of views per year and stuff, but this is a lot bigger than what we usually get, like way bigger even for that. So I'm excited for that too. It's about time that men in this country found that there's, there's entire organizations and communities out there to help them learn how to be better men and fathers for free on the internet with shows like this and speeches, or you can go to a conference, get up off your ass, get a ticket, and come out and have a good, positive time with other men who are proud to be men, are not ashamed of it, are not going to scream at you about toxic masculinity. I've had even organizations for men that I don't even like reach out to me, and even they're supportive, I think, of what we're doing. I'm skeptical. Like the Good Men Project reached out, which I'm usually not a fan of. Like it's very blue pill kind of, men need to be subservient to the feminist gulag, the Gestapo, all this crap. But it's like we're getting attention, man. At least, maybe we can turn them around. I'm gonna tell them. I haven't responded to them yet, but I'm gonna tell them right away. I'm like, look, man, I appreciate you guys reaching out, but honestly, we usually make fun of you guys, like you're a bunch of kind of blue pill betas and shit. But hey, at least they're reaching out, and I'm going to be honest and upfront, so they don't got to find that later, like I'm two-faced or something like that.
If we want to grow an organization or grow an idea, we can't just preach to the crowd. We have to reach out to those who are close to us, but not quite all the way, and just like a conveyor belt, pulling people into the group without it affecting our core message. Keep pulling more people.
Nailed it. Yeah, and if we can change their mind with arguments and reason and debate, then I'm all for it. Fuck yeah. But if they're going to be a bunch of endless Vichy males with no spine and no backbone forever, like if you want to keep be a grass eating lion forever, go be a grass eating lion forever and be a loser. But if you want to change and be more masculine and be proud of your masculinity and not apologize for it and love women and help women and all these things, then yeah, come on board. Let's talk. I got no problem with it. I just want to make sure when they reach out to me, they don't like find later that we've been making fun of them for years. And then, I don't want to be two-faced like that. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. Yeah, the Borg is real. Do not assimilate. Yeah, I've been thinking lately, the feminists, if you ever watched Star Trek back in the 90s, there's the Borg, man. And that's what they're like. They're like the fem Borg. Resistance is futile, assimilate to our cause. Any woman who thinks differently, must be sent to the feminist prison. She has, she needs to be treated for patriarchy syndrome, like all this crap, man. It is just amazing. I mean, look, for you guys watching the show, like after you're done, start Googling this stuff. It's hysterical. It's all over Facebook and Twitter. Just type mansplaining convention, mansplaining conference, make women great again. It's all over the place by the millions. It's beyond. People are reaching out to me, telling me they're hearing people talk about it in real life at bars that they don't know. Like, it has gone that viral. It has that much of a contagion factor. New Jersey, Washington, D.C., California, all over my hometown, people are losing their shit. People I went to high school with and all this stuff. And then my buddies and shit from high school are like, fuck yeah, like, finally did it. Triggered the shit out of these losers. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man. But I want the best for women. I think this convention is doing that. We're doing that together. Yeah, and it's about damn time. So I think we'll wrap up soon. It's coming up on 1 p.m. But if you guys have any closing comments on the nature of what's going on, the mansplaining palooza that we're preparing, state your piece before we see each other next week.
I think if you got questions about it, interact with some of us on Twitter, for example, and ask your questions. If you've got legitimate questions, we'll try to answer them. If you have concerns about the way it's being marketed, if you have any kind of concern, just reach out and talk to us about it. We're on Twitter once in a while. We're reasonable men. We'd love to hear from those who are interested in the event, maybe have some questions.
Yeah, here's Kathy again. She's trying very hard to talk to my 3 teenage girls about quality men and women's responsibility to be a partner, not to win their relationship. Yeah, women should not lead relationships. That's a man's job. And when you have multiple leaders, that's like having 3 or 4 hands on a steering wheel. Like, the shit runs right off the road, man. I find it really offensive that these feminists are so, and the Vichy males are so upset that we want to treat women equally before the law, but in the home, a man is a proud leader and leads his family and his wife and his relationship and his marriage. That's what women want. Hypergamy 101. Women look up. You might be their partner, but they look up to you like you're their leader. And they love that. That's part of what makes them feel safe and secure, is that you're a strong, confident, masculine man and not some little whiny Vichy male bitch who's lying to them about being a fake nice guy. They have no respect for women who want to be feminine and want to be women and be led by a man that they willingly choose and that they're happy to be with. Like Phil and all you guys have wives that you're with now, the mothers of your children. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Disgusting. No respect. They have no respect, and they're disgusting bigots.
A lot of these feminists, because they can't find a man like that, perhaps simply because they're not going about it the right way. But I think
that, and they hate men. Some of them are just bigots, man. They just hate men. Like, of course men don't like you. You hate men. Why would we like you? Go away.
But if they can't get what they want, then other people can't get it too. So there's a whole load of hatred and bad attitudes in this, and we're trying to cut through that and reach out to women. The mainstream news media is extremely sympathetic and promoting feminism, and if we come out with a soft message, it will not penetrate that. Yeah. We have to come out with a message that they will mock and unintentionally drive the attention towards us. Yep. It's excellent the way you've been doing it so far.
Thanks, man. Yeah, one thing I wanted to comment on, Steve, you can hop in if you want. I'm pulling up a website right now.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that everybody was saying, Noah was saying as well. Before you judge everybody, why don't you do your homework yourself, talk to the guys and see that we're not here to bash women. We're not here to make them look bad. We're just here to give them a different perspective that they haven't got before. And that's from a man's point of view. And that's what's going to give them the opportunity to break free of the cycle that they've been going through, the cycle of men, the cycle of being alone, the cycle of being making excuses, and the cycle of being victims. We're not the bad guys. It's just that the world makes us out to be the bad guys. So
that's right.
What I'm offering only, and you can find me on Twitter at EvolvePhil, is I offer truth. And that's what I have to bring to the table. The truth is, if you follow this path of depravity for your younger years of your life, if you follow this path and make these choices, you're going to end up in this position. If you want to find a different way, a way that's more pro-family, feminine, anti-feminism, pro-masculine, give this way a try. It's nothing more than the truth, and that's it. There's no two ways about it. It's not a lie. The feminism lie has been pumped into women for what, 70, 80 years now. It's just slowly trickled in and trickled in and trickled in, and more and more and more and more and more. You're absolutely right. Too many hands on the steering wheel.
Yep.
women need to understand their place. And their place is a place of nurturing. A man's place is a place of providing, protecting, securing the home, making sure things are right. He worries about it.
Imagine that men and women are different. Oh my God. It's the basic scientific fact is the apocalypse. We're all going to die.
Yeah, right.
One thing I wanted to comment on is the Blaze got into this recently. They published it on their YouTube channel, one of their commentators' channels. It's gotten to like 800,000 people there. It was this guy, Chad, which is pretty funny. Mr. Chad commented on it. Ha ha ha. They called it a mansplaining palooza, which I find pretty funny. That's why I call today's episode the mansplaining palooza. I really like that. But I can't pull up the video, but there's a video of it on on their YouTube channel because of audio. But it's this guy, Chad, and he's got like a cowboy hat on, all this crap. And he just really reminds me of like a fake conservative, just from a political perspective. And I think that's what's about to happen. You're going to see some, people that are not as opposed to traditional masculinity that will support us. Maybe if Tucker Carlson or something like that looks at what we're doing, he'll like it. And then you're going to see these fake conservatives. They're just pandering. And this guy, Chad, from The Blaze is a really good example of that. Right off the bat, he goes, make women great again. He goes, ladies, you're already great. And I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Immediate fucking pandering. Because God forbid that women are not all perfect, that they can improve, that they can learn from men, they can learn from fathers and husbands that want to speak to them publicly, that there is fun, interesting, positive things to learn from the opposite sex. That women were better before they hated men and were marching in the streets, that the future is female and believe women instead of believe evidence. Like, yeah, it's nuts today. And so the pandering from these fake conservatives we're going to see is disgusting, I think. And that I'll make fun of them for that too. They're just pandering, man. They're basically afraid to upset their female audience that are themselves like, maybe could use a ticket to the event. Oh no, like you can learn from men. Oh no, you could learn how to get fit and healthy. And if you're young, like it's better to have babies now than wait till you're 39. Oh my God. Basic science, right? And, men providing a positive message. So yeah, watch out for the pandering you're going to see. Like it's obvious that these, super hardcore radical feminists, radical communist people are going to attack us. But also even some conservative media stuff that come after us. They're just pandering. They don't want to upset these women. They're afraid. They're basically spineless losers, just like these other feminists and stuff. They have a different hat on. They have like a cowboy hat on instead of a pink pussy hat. It's the same bullshit.
They're pandering because they think it's in their best interest. Women control 80% of spending. The Blaze is funded by the advertisements on the website. And so they think that if they say things that offend women or turn them off, that it will impact their bottom line. This is pure economic calculation and to some degree a social fear. If you do what we're doing, you're going to get attacked socially. So it's a mix of self-interest. But they're reading it wrong. Feminists are a very tiny portion of the population. The real hardcore complainers are a tiny portion. And these are not the women. Those women generally are not controlling the majority of the spending. It's wives and it's mothers that control the spending as they're buying things for their kids and for their husband and for the family. And I think a really successful 22Con is going to help start to show that appealing to the vast majority of women who want to be more feminine, who are, yes, they have influence from feminists because it's so broad out in culture. They don't want to be like that. If the big media starts to realize that is a market where we could see a sudden shift because they're only self-interested. They don't care about feminism. They're just self-interested, and that's why they promote it.
Yeah, I just have like no respect for that. I have every respect for rational self-interest, but I have no respect for this spineless pandering. It's cowardice. It's pathetic. It's weak. I'll be happy if I've been invited on like news shows and radio shows now, and if I haven't done it yet, but if I end up going on, I'm just going to make fun of these people for being spineless losers who won't even. What pisses me off is the second he said "make women great again," he's like, "Ladies, you're already great." It's like, dude, you didn't even take 2 fucking seconds to look at this thing and give it a fair shake and approach it with an open, active mind. Do they have something positive to say? Is there something interesting going on here? Is there a war on motherhood? Is feminism, devolving into rampant man-hating and boy-hating bigotry? Yeah, maybe there's something going on. There's women marching in the streets talking about the future is female. I'm not female, I'm male. Where the fuck is my future? Hello? The shit ain't, I talked about it in my speech in 2018, the future is still masculine. I was like, if I put on a white hat instead of a pink hat, and I put up a big fucking billboard that said the future is white instead of the future is female, people would be screaming at me. They might kill me. They'd throw shit at me. You can't do that. It's explicit supremacism. The same is true for these women today, marching around screaming how the future is female and believe women and all this Me Too crap. These people are bigots, man. They have feminism. You know, it is a minority of women and people, and there's men too. Don't forget the Vichy males. But these people have normalized the open hatred of men and the open bigotry against men and fathers and boys and the open supremacism for women. And they really are. They've managed to get this cultural, social establishment. And that has obviously extensions into politics too. It's very unpopular to oppose feminism, but I think we're beginning to change that. I think that's a begin at this level anyway, at this level of intensity. I think that's why that's one of the reasons they're freaking out too, is they're like, holy shit, we're not invincible. These people are doing something positive and major and impactful. And as of yet, they haven't stopped us. They haven't even made a dent. They've just done nothing but fuel the fire. They're dumping gasoline on the fire we started. These people are idiots, man. They're stupid on top of that. I'm just having fun ranting about what losers these people are at this point. Oh, no, you got to bounce. Yeah. Let's just end the show, man. This has been a great day. Been a great show. Yeah, close this out. Yeah, everybody, thanks. Appreciate you guys coming on the show. I'll see you next week at 11 a.m. sharp, or 11:15 if we start late. This has been Anthony Dream Johnson, president of the Manosphere, Noah Ravoy from smv4k.com, Steve the Dean Williams from themanmindset.com, and Evolve Phil from on Twitter at Evolve Phil. Right?
Yes.
Cool. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. We'll check the comments after the show. Appreciate you guys tuning in live, smashing the like button, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. See you next week on the show. Hope to see you at 21 convention for fathers this spring, and for women, the 22 convention, Make Women Great Again. Thank you. Adios.